Welcome to the Plant Powered Life. My name is Tandy, and today we're going to be talking about the number one secret to weight loss. Now, before we get into this, I want to let you know that this is kind of my secret sauce. It's the main thing that I really work on with my one-on-one clients, because working on this one secret precedes everything else. If you can get this right, everything else is going to be able to fall into line really easily. But if you struggle with this one thing, or you don't ever even pay any attention to it, you are going to continue to struggle with everything else, all of the details of your diet and all the things that you're trying to change. And I just want you to hang on for a minute, stick with me, because this is very, very, very in-depth, and it is definitely something that an approach that you probably haven't really thought about before. So let's get right into it. So first thing, there's a quote that I always love to use, and that is, your weight has nothing to do with what you're eating and everything to do with what you're thinking. And I just want you to let that sink in for a minute. Your weight has more to do with what you're thinking than what it is that you are actually eating. How is that true? I know you don't believe me right now, but stick with me for a minute, because this is going to change your life. This will absolutely change your life. So you think it's the food. You think that it's that you're struggling to lose weight because there are days that you just don't feel like working out. You keep falling off the bandwagon. There are foods that you're eating that maybe you shouldn't. If you just ate better, if you were just able to find the right diet, if you were just able to have someone do the menu plan and it's all set out for you, you could just do it. But I'm here to tell you that none of that is going to work unless you fix the thoughts. So let's think about this for a minute. So here's the thing. Before we ever get to putting the cookie in our mouth, before we ever get to I'm not working out today because I ain't feeling it, before we get to I didn't have time, I went and got fast food, I was craving this, all of these things that we think are sabotaging it, before all of that happens, there's the thought. That's where we want to start. And then we can change what happens next. Okay, so we're just going to back this train up just a little bit farther. Okay, so let's look at this for a minute and see how this works. And I'm going to use a cookie just symbolically as foods that you struggle with, because it could be fast food, it could be French fries, it could be chips, it could be ice cream. I don't know what your kind of issues are, what foods that you turn to, so I'm just going to use a cookie. You just realize that could symbolize any other food that you use that's not serving you. So when you think of this food or this cookie that you generally turn to, or is kind of causing issues with your weight loss, what do you think about it? And that might be a little bit hard, but maybe you think it's amazing. Maybe you think it tastes so amazing. You think, I couldn't live without eating this food. I can't live without it. It's going to solve for the emotional problems. It's comfort. It's comfort food. You think that it's going to make you feel better in the moment when you are feeling strong emotions or uncomfortable feelings or whatever, or been in an uncomfortable or stressful situation. You feel like this is the comfort. This is going to solve for this, right? Well, guess what? Number one, none of that is true. It's all what you think. Because does everybody think that that's comfort food? No, just you. It's what you choose to think about that food. You could choose to think something else if you really wanted to. Number two, these thoughts that you're having are creating destructive behaviors that are sabotaging what you're trying to accomplish. That's why I say thoughts first. Okay, so what happens if we turn to this food? You had a really bad day. You had an argument with your significant other. You was a stressful day at work, whatever it might be. You turn to the food, you eat the food, and then what? You feel guilty. You don't feel very good. You feel overly full. You end up gaining weight. The negative emotions are still there, and the situation that caused you to eat that, it's still there. So it didn't solve anything. In fact, it just added to your problems, because now you're not getting the results that you want because you chose that. So it's time to change the thoughts, and then the behavior around food is going to change. So you are going to keep in these self-destructive patterns until you change what you're actually thinking. So I'm not saying food isn't important. We got to do work before we get there. So first thing I want to talk about around thoughts is being your own worst bully. And most of us are. Most of us. Sometimes not, but most of the time we are. Why? You constantly think negative thoughts about yourself. Most of us do. You're fat. You can't ever stick to a diet. Something's wrong with you and you can't lose weight. You're different than everybody else. You're not lovable. You're not worthy. You're a loser. You can't do anything right. Why did you do that? Why did you eat that? Now you've messed up your diet. Guilt. You're going to go on a juice cleanse to make up for this binge that you had, or I'm going to skip breakfast tomorrow because I overindulged today, or you go over exercise to make up for something that you did. All of these are punishing negative behaviors. You're punishing yourself. You're thinking negative thoughts. When you do that, you feel uncomfortable. You feel bad. So what do you want to do? Go do something that feels good. That's comfort. That's the comfort food. And so the cycle goes on and on and on. We need to disrupt this idea of being your own worst bully. This bully lives inside of you. You can't get away from it. It's there every second of every day. It's berating you all the time, relentlessly. I want to run away too. I want to numb myself out. You're always going to want to numb yourself out if you are doing this to yourself. No wonder you are constantly trying to soothe yourself with food, because you're living with a bully inside of you. You will never achieve any goals in your life if you just try to do willpower and hang on. You're never going to achieve goals in your life if you keep bullying yourself. Even if other people in your life tell you you're fat or you need to lose weight or you're not good enough or say things to you, the key here is you don't have to believe it, and you don't have to accept it, and you don't have to tell yourself those things. You have the right to choose to think whatever you want. Whatever you want. You don't have to accept what other people are saying. So how would it change your life if you decided that you were going to love yourself? If you decided that you were going to be your own best friend, you've got your back. I've got you. You're your own cheerleader. We got this. We can do this. I can do this. I'm good enough. I'm strong enough. How would that change your life? I can tell you, it would make all the difference. So let's talk a little bit more about thoughts of food. So you think this food is comfort, okay? Most of us have these, and there are oftentimes lots of them, okay? But when you tell yourself that this food that doesn't serve your goals and isn't serving you, when you tell yourself that that's comfort, your brain is going to do exactly what you're telling it to do. Oh, this is comfort. I don't feel good. I just looked in the mirror and told myself I was fat. That doesn't feel good. Let's go get a cookie. This is what's happening, okay? So if you're constantly entertaining thoughts that certain types of food that don't serve you are comfort and amazing, and all of these thoughts, positive thoughts about the food, every single time you feel overwhelmed, stressed, all of those things, what's going to happen? You are going to turn to food, that food. You have to disrupt this pattern of thinking and choose to think something else before you're ever going to be able to do a different thing. Before that, changing your diet and exercising and all of that ever comes into play. So I want you to decide to think of other things as comfort rather than food. And that can be whatever you want, whatever you enjoy. I'm going to give you some examples. That doesn't mean you have to use them. You can do whatever you want. But instead of going to food, let's think taking a walk outside. That's comfort. Reading a book, if you enjoy that. Taking a bubble bath, 10 minutes of meditation, 10 minutes of yoga, listening to uplifting music, sitting by the fireplace, cuddled up in the soft music and a blanket. cuddling with someone that you love or your children, watching your favorite TV show or an uplifting movie, knitting, crocheting, painting, learning a new skill. I don't know, sit on the porch and watch the sunset. Whatever it is out there that you love to do, that you can take 10 minutes or so to do to calm yourself down, that's what I want you to continue thinking of comfort rather than the food. And your mind is going to go there, and that's okay. You just, no, we're going to go over here. No, this is comfort. Taking care of myself is comfort. Doing something I love to do, that's comfort, not this food that is sabotaging the results that I want. So if you have a stressful day, I want you to choose to do something to unwind that you love to do, that is serving you in your life, moving you towards goals, or even just letting you take a break so that when you are ready, you can move forward in your life in a positive way. So what do we do instead of bullying ourselves? And this takes a lot of thought work, and this is why I work with my clients for quite a period of time usually. I mean, I have, you can continue to move forward if you would like to. And a lot of times I work with people longer because it takes time to retrain your mind to stop bullying yourself. And it's sad that this is what we do. But I want you to choose positive thoughts that you can actually believe. So it's not going to help you if you think you're fat. It's not going to help you to then say, I'm going to think I'm skinny, because it sounds like a lie. It feels like a lie. It doesn't feel genuine, and that isn't going to work. So instead of hating yourself, you might not be able to say, I love myself, but maybe you can say, I'm learning to love myself. Instead of calling yourself fat, maybe remind yourself that you are learning the skills that are necessary to be healthy or to lose weight. I am learning. I am moving towards this, right? And I want you to just catch yourself when these negative patterns come up and disrupt it with something that you can believe, something that is positive. When you walk in front of a mirror and you look at yourself, what do you think? What are you thinking about yourself? Is your automatic response, ew, I'm ugly, I'm fat, I'm gross? That's ugly. I want you to stop doing that. What I want you to do is take a deep breath, look yourself in the eyes, and I want you to choose a positive thought. You might not look at those thighs that you think are fat and be able to say, those are amazing. Those look amazing. They're so skinny. You're probably not going to be able to do that. That's okay. You know what you can think? Those legs have carried me through everything I've done in my life. Those legs carry me to work every day. Those legs carried me around college every single day to achieve my goal of getting my degree. Those legs have carried me through life to amazing places. They're amazing. They might not look the way that you want them to right now, but they've done amazing things for you, and I want you to focus on that. Do you see what I'm saying? You can focus and see the amazing things rather than beating yourself up. You don't need to beat yourself up. It's okay. It's okay. If your thighs don't look the way that you want them to, it's okay. All right? You may not always love everything that you see. And that's okay. You don't have to. But I want you to really think about the way that you're talking to yourself, because it's going to have the biggest impact on the actions that you take and what ends up happening in your life. And that's what we're trying to change, okay? The world is always going to have messages that make you feel like you don't measure up. Social media, TV, all of that. Someone's skinnier, someone's prettier, someone has more money. It's always going to be that way. But I don't want you to turn to beating yourself up because you don't look like her, because you aren't as good at eating healthy as she is. That doesn't help you in any way to make yourself just feel guilty. I want you to focus on the amazing things you do have in your life, whatever it might be, as small, as big, whatever it may be, and also focusing on the goals that you have for yourself and the things that you're doing to get there. Because you can choose what you want to have in your life. So the last thing that I want to talk to you about is deciding to focus on the healthy foods that you do enjoy. So instead of focusing, so I'll give you an example. My husband calls chocolate chips happy pills. So what is he doing every day when he's on a meeting from work that's stressful? He's got a bag of chocolate chips sitting over here on the corner that he's like going through. Because his thought is that the chocolate chips are happy pills. Is he ever going to stop eating them while he thinks that? No. He wants to lose weight, but is he ever going to lose weight? No, because he's never going to stop eating the chocolate chips until he stops thinking that they make him happy, because they don't. They're not getting him anywhere, because that meeting is still stressful. So I want you to start thinking about the healthy things you do enjoy, the healthy foods you do enjoy, and focus on those. I love fruit. I love to eat fruit. I eat fruit all the time. I snack on it. I have it for breakfast every day with other things, of course, whatever, in various ways. And when I go places, I love to try the fruits of wherever I am. And so I focus on that. I really love this. Or I enjoy steamed potatoes. Some of you might be terrified by potatoes. It's a whole food. Guess what? They're amazing. You can check out one of my posts. Follow me on Instagram. Check out my post on potatoes. It will blow your mind. I put a little salt and ketchup on them. Does that scare you? Yeah? If you think of being SOS free, salt, oil, and sugar free, guess what? Salt. There are also times where we get too obsessed with perfectionism and it derails us too. I don't care. Salt's a necessary nutrient. I'm going to put it on my potatoes because I like how it tastes. It's fine. It doesn't hurt anything. The ketchup has sugar. Oh no. Guess what? It doesn't sabotage anything that I'm doing. This little tiny condiment that has a little sugar in it, it's not hurting anything. Okay? You have to let the little things go. You're not going to get to success by nitpicking all these little teeny tiny things. So that's another thought pattern we go on about perfectionism. There's so many facets of this. I enjoy steamed veggies. I like a little drizzle of tahini and salt on my steamed veggies. In fact, there are times that I'm excited as I'm driving home from teaching Pilates in the morning to go and make my steamed veggies for lunch. And of course, I have other things. But if that's what I'm craving and feels good to me and it's healthy, I focus on it. I'm excited about it. There are evenings when I'm getting ready for bed and I'm really excited about the fruit salad that I'm going to have in the morning. Because I'm thinking I'm going to make this protein chocolate sauce to put on top of my fruit salad, and I absolutely love it and it tastes good. And I've got fresh berries to put on it tomorrow, and I really feel excited. That is how we reinforce positive behaviors, is finding the things you like. Don't focus on kale. If you hate kale, don't try to tell yourself that you're going to eat it and that you're going to like it. Don't ever eat it. We don't got time for that, okay? But I want you to realize you choose what you think. You can choose however you want to take this. If you choose negative, self-sabotaging thoughts, hating yourself, picking out the rolls of fat and the things on your body that you don't like, you're always going to be trying to buffer all of the suffering that you are inflicting upon yourself. But if you choose to see the positive things, to see, you know what? I see these thighs and we are going to do the work to reveal those skinny thighs underneath there. I want you to constantly be positive and motivating yourself. And that is where you're going to find success. That is where, when we can think this way, find the things we love, comfort ourselves in other ways, stop elevating junk food to something that it's not, make it what it is. When you look at that cookie or that food, you look at it and say, that food sabotages everything that I want for myself. If you want to lose weight, you know this is not the way to do it. That food makes my stomach hurt. It makes me not feel good. It makes me feel guilty. I don't get to the goals that I have for myself or the health that I want for myself when I do that. There is nothing positive about this food. And that's where then you are going to be able to find a healthy way of eating and living and being that will help you reach your goals. But we've got to get the thoughts down first. Then we can move on to the way that we are eating, the types of foods we're eating, and the other behaviors that we need in order to live the life that we want. So hopefully this was helpful for you. If you have any questions, please comment below. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. If you would be interested in one-on-one coaching, you can go to my website and message me there, or direct message me on Instagram, and I would love to talk to you about that. But I really appreciate you joining me today, and I will see you next time.